Hi friends, today I'm going to be talking about how to cut your hexes for my Hexie Blooms quilt along, which you can also see back here. The cool thing about this pattern is that it actually doesn't use full hexes. So these are not full hexes, they're actually half hexes, which makes the construction of this pattern much easier because it means that there's no white seams in this pattern. It's all just straight sewing, and there's also no hand sewing. There is a template though, so the pattern comes with a template, which you can see here. And to cut your half hexes, you can either use this template or you can use one of the rulers that I'm going to be showing you today. I'm going to be showing you how to cut your half hexes with one of these three rulers. So first we have a half hexie template here. We also have the Hex and More template by Jaber Quilts. And I know this one's really popular and a lot of people have it, which is why I'm going to be showing you how to use this. And last but not least, I'm also going to be showing you how to cut your half hexes using just your standard 60-degree triangle ruler. That's right, you can cut half hexes with one of these guys, and this is actually my favorite way to cut them. So let's get to it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to do the paper template that comes with the pattern. If you purchase the printed pattern, the template's gonna come on a half sheet and you just have to cut it. If you purchase the PDF version, it's gonna look like this. And like it says on here, make sure that when you print out your template, to print it out at full size or 100%, because otherwise your template is gonna be too small. And the way to make sure that you did that correctly is to take your ruler and lay it on top of this square right here to make sure that it's actually 1 inch by 1 inch. If it's a little bit smaller, you'll need to reprint your template because that means that it's too small to use. So once you make sure that you printed it out correctly, you'll take your paper scissors and cut on the solid line. And I have one that I cut out already. So I'm gonna show you how to cut a strip. Here I have a jelly roll strip, and the thing I want to make sure to mention about jelly roll strips as well as yardage is to check the width, the usable width of your strip. If it's less than 43 inches, you'll have to open your strip and make your cuts, because otherwise you will not be able to get all the half hexes that you're supposed to. The pattern assumes that you will be able to get 10 half hexes out of one with a fabric strip or one jelly roll strip. And if it's less than 43 inches and you leave it folded, you only get 9. Sorry. Okay. So we'll take your paper pattern and lay it on the strip like this. Hold on, let me move it so you can actually see better. And then what I like to do is take my ruler and actually use this straight edge to cut, because it just makes it much nicer than just cutting on the paper. So I'll take this and cut. Move this over and I'll get my notched right here, or engineer corner it's also called. And then for this one, I'll take it and rotate this so that way you're not cutting towards yourself. And oops. Cut. And your paper template is gonna kind of move a little bit, so you just have to reposition it and then cut again. And then for the end, now you have 2 half hexes. So then for the rest of the strip, you would rotate again and cut again like we did. Okay, next we're going to use a half hexagon template. This one's from the Missouri Star Quilt Company Okay, there's a few other brands out there that you can find on Amazon, the Fat Quarter Shop, and your local quilt shops if there are any open right now. And this works very much the same as your paper template, but it's nicer because you know you don't have to use that extra ruler and you won't have the paper moving on you. So it just works the same. You take this and then you have to be very careful cutting that notch out, and then you could rotate it or move around like I just did. And then you have two half-hexies, and then same as you did with the paper template, you would just turn it, you would flip it upside down like this and cut. I'm left-handed, so I can do this with my left hand. Where's my right hand? Anyways, and there you have it. Two half-hexies with the half-hexagon template. Okay, next up, it's going to be the 60-degree ruler. In this case, I'm using a flat top ruler from Creative Grids. It doesn't matter if your ruler is a flat top or it has the pointy edge, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So you take your paper template here that I stepped on, and you take your ruler and you lay it on top, and then you kind of start sliding it down until it matches up. There we go. So mine matches up at 2 inches and 4.5 inches. And it's possible if you have one of the pointy rulers, there's gonna match up at a slightly different, like it would be 2 1/4 and 4 3/4 or something like that. That's why I don't say specifically. So just take your ruler and slide it down until it matches. What I do next is I take some washi tape and mark it off. Oops. And I like to mark off my ruler just off the lines so I can still use the lines on the ruler to cut. And I'll show you what I mean. So my ruler matches up at the 2-inch line, so I'm gonna mark right off the top. And then down here matches up 4.5, so I'm actually gonna go right under that. And then I'm gonna, cut that off, cut the excess off. And it doesn't have to be exact, because what I'm using the washi tape for is just as a reminder of as a guide of where I need to match my my ruler. So next I'm going to be cutting a layer cake, and there's 2 on here. So this is a 10 by 10 piece of fabric that comes, it's pre-cut. And the first thing I'm going to do is actually cut it into 2.5-inch strips. So that would be 7.5. And 5. And 2.5. And then I'm going to take these strips and cut them into half-hexies, and I'm leaving them stacked. So there's 2 in here. And like I said, I use the washi tape as a guide. So then I don't line up on the washi tape, instead I line up just inside. Now again, because I'm left-handed, I can do this, otherwise you might have to kind of rotate kind of weird, and then cut on there. And then this ruler just makes it really simple. You just rotate again and cut. And the reason I liked this ruler is because it makes it faster than with the paper template, because I don't have to deal with it. And I like it better than this guide because there's sort of more to hold onto. So it just makes me feel a little safer. Feels like my fingers are safer using this ruler. The only downside to this ruler is that you don't get those notches on there. You could take your template and then at this point cut them off of each one if you like. I'm a rebel and I actually don't cut mine off, and I'll show you next week how to piece doing that. Okay, last but not least, I'm going to be cutting using the Hexagon ruler by Jaber Quilts. I know this ruler, it's a little bit more expensive, but it's very popular because you can do a lot with it. You can do triangles, you can do the whole jewel, you can do the half-hexies, you can do full hexies. So I got asked by a few people, so we are going to cut using this. And the way this one works, you'll be using the 4.5 half-hexie, and you have to line up on the solid line for the 4.5. So put it right there. And you know, the really nice thing about this ruler is that it comes with those engineer corners in. And then the way this ruler works is you'll have to take this piece and then flip it like so. And make sure it's nice and straight. And then line up that solid line with the cuts that you just made. And cut. And there you have two half-hexies with the Hexagon ruler. And that's how you cut your half-hexies for the Hexie Blooms pattern. If you have any questions, please let me know.